I never wanted a job von Kneecap Jake. We watched today.
I never wanted a job. The idea of going somewhere every day, following orders, just to earn money, it never appealed to me. And because of that, I spent most of my life coasting. No goals, no plans, just
Coasting.
assuming life would somehow figure itself out for me. But life didn't just figure itself out. And by the time that I realised that, I was about to turn 30. So in this video, I will share the decisions I've made, what I have learned as a consequence of my actions, and why I wish I figured this out sooner. Growing up, people would often ask me, what do you want to do when you're older? And I never had a clear answer. I just couldn't understand making plans for the future because I could only just get my head around what I wanted to do in the next 5 minutes. All I wanted to do was see my friends and play video games.
What's wrong about that? I can't see a problem with that. I mean, it's actually kinda what I do now. Playing video games all day and going outside and sometimes also meeting friends. Not so often though.
Games. I didn't want to do anything. My dad used to say to me that I was coasting through school, that I never really applied myself. And although I was bitter about this at the time,
Coasting? I don't know what coasting is.
he was right. I thought I could just drift. That at some point I would just know what I was supposed to be doing. Like a
I mean,
calling.
I can understand from the
That calling
context
never
though.
came. It wasn't even that I was trying to avoid thinking about the future or that I was lazy. It was like my brain just couldn't go there. I had this mental block. I couldn't think beyond the now. Even today, I still struggle to imagine exactly what I want in the future. But back then, it was just impossible. I continued to just follow my feelings, what felt good, which ultimately led to lots of video games, staying up late and doing just enough that I could.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like me, if you ask me. I mean, it got better. I don't stay up at night that often. I try to wake up at 6 in the morning, always, like also on weekends and stuff. But yeah, it's doesn't happen always that I can do it. So sometimes I sleep longer, also not go in bed early.
Past college. One day I had completed
But I
my
really try to
project
do
work,
it.
all printed and neatly bound. And handing this in would put me at a triple distinction for my grade, and tomorrow was the deadline. I was at a friend's house playing video games and we decided to stay up all night. The next morning soon came around and the idea popped into my head. What if we just didn't go to college? I'll still pass even if I don't hand this work in. I'll just get a little bit of a lower grade. And so I brought the idea up and we had made the decision. I never did hand that work in. After college, I got a part-time job in a care home for people with brain injuries. I worked just enough to pay rent and get by. But that was it. I had no savings, but I didn't care. Every hour that I spent at work past the amount that I needed for that month felt like pain. I just didn't want to be there. I still thought that I could avoid working too hard and life would still work out. One day a resident came in who had HIV, and I was told that he was violent and a biter. I was terrified at the thought of it. Could he transmit HIV to me with one angry bite? Why was I even still working here? That was the first time I actually questioned what I was doing with my life. And instead of trying
That
to
sounds
figure it
dangerous.
out, I decided to run away from it. I thought that if I gave university a go, I wouldn't have to deal with this anymore. And so I attended university. Not because I had a career plan, but because I just wanted an escape. I could put the world of work off for a few more years and coast a bit more. The weird thing is that I didn't actually regret university until recently. Only now, looking back at how much I owe in student debt, do I see how reckless that decision was.
Oh, luckily, I didn't go to university. That was always, I mean, not always the case, but I realized that really early that I don't want to pursue like a normal career because it's just not for me. I mean, for some people it works, but just not for me.
Really was. But back then, it just wasn't a concern for me. I had no foresight into my own future, no real grasp on the consequences. Even the student loan companies were saying things like, no one ever pays these things off, it will just get written off in 30 years. And if that's the case, why are they even giving out the loans? They must be making money somewhere. And so I took on student debt for the wrong reasons. If you're thinking about uni yourself, don't do what I did. Do it because you actually want to be there, not just to run away from life. It wasn't until my late 20s that I finally understood something. Work isn't just about money or making yourself do something that you hate. It can give you a sense of self-respect, purpose, direction, and without those things you just feel numb. And I felt numb for a lot of my life. I had no passion for what I was doing.
That sounds bad.
I had no purpose. I often sat in my room alone, feeling depressed, wishing that I had some sort of direction in my life. I used to feel a deep sense of dread every time I had to plan something for the morning. Just the thought of work gave me stress headaches. It was like my brain was overheating from the pressure. I just felt awful. Only now, looking back, do I realise how much healthier I am. When I hear a student say,
I mean, there's definitely something I realized. I was like sitting like all day playing video games and got on my body like really bad. My back started to hurt one day, and so I realized I have to do something about it. I mean, I still have like sometimes it hurts, but it's not that bad anymore. So I took some action for that. So that's when you realize when something starts to hurt, then you realize, and you can't sit anymore in front of the PC, then you know this can't go on like this forever. I mean, I was like working, playing video games, and sometimes I also slept. When I was younger, there I slept like really, really short hours, and now it's like a little bit longer. I mean, by younger, I mean, 10 years ago, or something like that. When I still want to go to school, there were some days where I was like really tired.
I'm the best teaching assistant they've ever had.
Not perfect.
Or I finish a creative project I never thought I could do. I feel something that I've never had before. Pride. Not just in my work, but in myself. The truth is, you don't just stumble upon direction. It takes trying new things, failing at things, and trying again. Direction, purpose, self-respect, they all come with trying. Putting effort into work. Since I started truly giving my all to the work that I want to do, I feel so much more alive. I am awake and driven. I get up early not because I have to, because I don't, but because I want to ensure that I put all of my energy into something, into work, to focus on something that matters to me. I also found multiple jobs that give me a deep sense of satisfaction and a connection with other people. Working with students who need additional learning support and making creative work for a marketing company. I spent most of my life avoiding work, and now I see it differently. Not every job will fulfill you, but sitting around waiting for life to happen, that's worse. If you don't choose a direction, life will choose one for you, and you might not like where it takes you. And if you want to know how my life of coasting has ended for me financially, then I've got a video for you right here. Thanks for listening. I never want...
That's actually a really good video. I like the topic, and it's like really... I mean, there's some knowledge in it. I really like it. So guys, like the video and subscribe to Kneecap Jake, as I also did. And that's it for today. Subscribe and see you in the next one.